Hello, everybody. I hope you are well. I am very, very happy to be here for a new edition of GM Web3. And you can listen, as you can hear, I have the voice, the after party voice. This is the way I will call it. And today I am with Maxime, co founder of Siborg. Hello, Maxime. How are you?
Hey Jim. Yes, fine. A bit tired from this amazing event, but yeah, good. And you?
I'm very good. We finished yesterday at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just slept for 3 hours. But we're here. Uh, we will speak about proof of talk a bit this morning because you were there too. We are also with Joachim, co-founder of Gulpa Labs, and we can say sponsor of every event of MultiversX. Is it correct, Joachim?
Some, not all of them. Some. At least ecosystem partners is the official name. But GM, I am extremely jealous to not have been able to come to Proof of Talk, but I look forward to hearing the recap.
Yeah, definitely. We missed you a lot, brother. I hope next time you'll be able to come. It was really, 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 really exciting, really nice. We will speak about it a bit today. Um, we are also with Philip, who's in the train, but actually managed to have some network to be with us this morning. Hello, Philip, founder of CryptoBay.
Hey, Jehan, everyone. Yeah, I hope you hear me. I mean, it's a little complex.
No, 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 no. No. The sound is not good. I can hear myself. So, no, it will be difficult. Can you mute?
I feel like we heard the train more than we heard him.
I heard myself and the train, and we did
Yeah,
not listen
I will
to.
remain silent and to comment.
Okay, Philip, we love you. Enjoy your trip. Today will be very exciting. We prepared very good topics. First of all, we'll do the Web3 news with Maxime. And at like we are in a French time, so at 10:30, so in 30 minutes, we will receive three guests to speak about L2 Bitcoin, app chain, scalability, and so on. So we will receive Robert Sasu, you all know, co-developer at MultiversX. We will receive Dan Hughes, CEO at Radix, and we will receive also a French guy. You know what? I didn't know him. Like 2 days ago, I didn't know him. But like yesterday at Proof of Talk, I talked about him, and like every Bitcoiner knows him. He's one of the biggest French, we can say like tech about Bitcoin. It's a Theo Pantamis, and he's engineer R&D at Ellen Market, and that they will speak about L2 Bitcoin and many other topics. Well, and after we will receive Pepiamin Pincu. So I think I need to introduce him as MultiversX CEO. That's what he asked me. Um, and yeah, we'll speak about him. Of course, the Dot9 scam that he managed to like stop. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. But also, you can raise your hand, come and take the mic to speak. That's the program. So, first of all, please. Uh, Send us some strength. I mean, put a like, put a comment, repost the space. I will put the link of the space, and I will pin it so it will be easier for you. And yeah, let's start. Maxime. What
Yes.
happened on Web3?
Oh, so many things, like always. No, maybe we can start with a good news, a news that we'll all like. It's about airdrop and it's about ZK Sync that just announced yesterday their airdrop. So for those who don't know what is ZK Sync, basically, it's a layer two on Ethereum, and it's one that is quite big, quite big. They announced a partnership with Lens Protocol a few weeks ago, and so they just announced the airdrop. I will put the claim the claim link in comments of the space for you. But well, basically that's really interesting because so it will be available to claim the 17th of June, and they just gave 17.5% of the supply for this drop, knowing that it will go, the repartition of those 17% are around 89% to the users, 5.8 to the native project building on DK Sync, and 2.8 for the blockchain initiatives. And well, so basically a total of 66% of the token supply will be for the community, which is good because in general, we like when it's when the token supply for the community is around 50 more than 50%, so which is the case. And maybe a little remark here is that on the pre-market, so the token is not listed, but you have some website like Ivo where you can see the price, the pre-market price, and it's around $0.3. So yeah, that could give you an idea. Are you guys eligible for this airdrop?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm never eligible to airdrops from my side. Can you tell us like a bit what is ZK Sync in a few seconds so we can all know what is it?
Yeah, sure. So I'm not a technical expert. So if someone knows more about the ZK technology, feel free to interrupt me and go on. But basically, we have different type of layer two on Ethereum. The main two are optimistic rollups and the ZK rollup. And so this is a ZK rollup, as you may
Okay,
see
it's
with the
like
name.
StarkNet actually.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
technically speaking, there are some differences, but we can say, yeah, on the
Okay,
highlight, we can say yes, it's similar. Yeah.
it's a L2 on Ethereum that is working with a ZK proof, zero knowledge proof. Okay, okay. Actually, I'm not. I don't know this much. And the airdrop, people earned a lot. I mean, the amount uh, is are important. Is it huge for some people?
So it depends. If you're a developer, it was quite good. I think it's quite similar to Starknet. So for me, it's quite similar. I get from between 500 to 1K, and developers were very very good. In general, when you're a developer and you have done some commit on GitHub, sometimes some commit and GitHub project are whitelisted, and when it's the case. When we talk about, let's say, between 10K and $100K that you can have, so that's yeah, that's for developers, it's amazing. That's definitely, yeah. And
Okay.
also maybe a little mention here. We mentioned DK Sync, I think, last week because the company behind, so which is Meta Labs, did a little let's say many people were talking about them on Twitter because they wanted, to deposit the IP ZK, which at the end of the day they did not manage to deposit. But so that was an interesting thing that we talked about it on GM Web3 a few weeks ago.
Mm,
But well,
remember.
uh, yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything to add on this airdrop section.
Um, I can't see any hands raised, but we can welcome Lucid. Hello, Lucid. What's up?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Very good. You're outside?
Yeah, can you hear me well? Or is it a bit
Yeah,
loudy?
but there's some sound from outside, but I think it's okay. But the sound is not perfect.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. How are you?
I'm enjoying the rainy season in Thailand. Unfortunately, I wanted to be with you guys. I saw the photo from Fruit of Talk, and yeah, too bad I could not join. But yeah,
Next time,
actually,
I
I'm
hope.
enjoying. Next time, hopefully in
Okay.
Asia. But yeah,
Okay.
very good.
Um, Maxime, let's continue for the Web3 news.
Yep, let's go. So another one that is linked to a bank. So it's the Industrial Commercial Bank of China, which is, by the way, the biggest bank in the world. So this bank just wrote some, let's say, love letters about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so they wrote a paper in which they basically they mentioned that Bitcoin basically is the new gold and that Ethereum is the digital oil. So that's quite interesting to notice from a bank, especially as if I mean we're all here from we're all in the space for a few years now, and I think it's kind of crazy to see the evolution of narrative for the banks, starting from a few years ago as well it's a scam to now saying, well, Ethereum is the digital oil and Bitcoin is a new gold. So yeah, that's quite funny in my point of view. But yeah, do you have you read this? Do you have anything to add on this part?
No, I just discovered the news through you. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Definitely, I like this. If we can say.
Yeah, that's nice. And so, well, continuing on this institutional part, now we can talk a little bit about politics. And I went through a news that was basically mentioning that Russia wants to bet on the Bitcoin mining industry, which is quite interesting. So basically, to do a quick TLDR, basically the thing is to say it needs more regulation in Russia to do something there. But that's interesting to notice that this industry could bring around $560 million per year to the government. And that's something that is quite interesting because, many countries try to, especially countries that are not, let's say, that have some complication with other country and that are not totally free, to do business with everyone, etc. And for those countries, this is quite interesting because Bitcoin mining could be a way to to make money, and so that's an interesting fact. And also, what's interesting to notice is that we will probably have this kind of race between many countries, saying, for example, Russia, maybe China, the USA, about Bitcoin mining. And to jump on this, basically Trump also made some tweet recently about Bitcoin mining too, and basically he wants to have the Bitcoin mining at the core industry, in the USA, and want to be energy dominant thanks to Bitcoin mining. So that's an interesting way of of tackling the energy industry, and where apparently Bitcoin mining could be a way to to work on the energy part. So that's quite interesting, and also he mentioned that it could be a way to as a defense mechanism against CBDC. So we have many topics in one. So basically, to summarize on this mining part, the race between this could be a race between many countries of which country produced more Bitcoin. This could be also a way to avoid CBDC, according to at least Trump. And this could be a race also regarding the energy market. So that's quite interesting. Yes, Joachim?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce quickly on the Trump part. The reality, I think, in the US, and we discussed it a little bit, I think, when we were talking about ETFs, is that we are there's political campaigns that are running a bit everywhere in the world right now, including in France, and we are seeing that they see that they can gain votes and they can gain supporters by starting to talk about crypto, while in the past crypto was a topic that was barely talked about. And during the last elections in the US, Trump was actually quite anti-crypto and making fun of crypto before launching his own NFT collection, which I'm not sure what the utility is nowadays. But anyway, no, the floor price. But I feel like we need to take everything with a big pinch of salt because this tends to be more marketing than actual will to change the industry.
Yeah, because the election are getting closer, but that's interesting that Trump is becoming more and more crypto friendly, and yeah, he said yesterday that all the remaining Bitcoin should be mined in the USA. And at the same time, Russia wants to promote this too. So it's geopolitical competition, which is very interesting. And we know that China has also different positions about that. Sometimes they ban, sometimes they unban, sometimes they ban. It's like Benny and me, blocks me, block me, block me. So that's pretty funny, and that's I think all of this is politics, politics and competition between the states. But yeah, okay. I find you the declaration of Trump, and yeah, Maxime, you just added an article. I will pine it too.
Yep, perfect. Well, continuing on institutional part, I would like to talk about Tether. And so I saw an article that was quite interesting, and it's about their ventures arm. So so maybe for those who don't know what is Tether, this is the company behind USDT, and they are probably one of the most profitable company. I mean, I think it's the most profitable company compared to how many employees they have. So to have a point of reference, we are doing a little bit less, quarterly speaking, as compared to BlackRock. So it's really crazy. But well, basically on their ventures side, so they're really expanding, and now they are also a ventures arm that invests in companies, etc. So they already invest $2 billion, a lot. I mean, 1 billion in AI. They invest also 150 million in Bitcoin mining. So they really want to diversify, and they announced that they want to invest 1 billion in the next year. So I would like to have your opinion on, I mean, what do you think about having such a big company in the industry? Because at first, crypto was about decentralization, etc., etc., and here we have some monopolies of huge company that have really valuing stablecoin, very huge on Bitcoin mining, very bit everywhere. Yeah, what do you think about that, guys?
Well, I think it will be delegated, no? I mean, maybe they will open nodes, and maybe individuals will be able to operate on them. So, like, on Ethereum, you have Lido, which is like monopolistic, but they delegate some nodes. So, I think with adoption, it will be decentralized more and more. But for the moment, that's I think it's not a bad thing that billions of dollars are invested in this industry because it creates jobs, creates awareness. They comply to regulation. So all of these challenges require money, 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 and yeah, individuals are not enough to do this by themselves. So maybe it's a mandatory step for real decentralization if it happens. But yeah, that's a very exciting point about the curse to adoption and decentralization. Maybe Lucid or Joachim wants to say something about this.
No, not on my side.
Okay, I can add something if you can hear me well. I
Yes,
think
it's okay.
I think regarding what you said, I agree with you, Jean. But the problem is we need money, right? But I think the money doesn't fit well with decentralization. I think what's going to happen is these kind of things will make this company and other also big companies like control most of the funds, control the market, control the revenues. So I think we're gonna go in a way where we're gonna say, okay, decentralization is the ideal world, but the reality is it's always finishing like this, especially in a mature market. So I think that's unfortunately we're not gonna have decentralization long term, but it is what it is, right? Otherwise, without money, we cannot go. So this part I agree with you.
Yep, definitely. Well, continuing on the latest news of the day, and that's something that I really like because, in general, we talk also a lot about, mass adoption. So a few weeks ago, we mentioned that, we need to go in a way where we need, wallet abstraction, gas fee abstraction, maybe chain abstraction, and all those kind of things that at some point will really help to onboard people on a frictionless way. And I have a news that goes in this direction, and it's about PancakeSwap that introduced gas-free transactions through the integration of ZFi. So ZFi is a account abstraction tool based on zcasing, by the way. And so yeah, I think that was a really interesting news because many companies are going this way, and I think it's great for the industry. I don't know if you guys, by the way, if you know some other companies doing, gas-free transactions, but yeah, I think it's really good for the industry, and I like seeing this. Yep, Joachim.
Yeah, so talking about other projects that do that indirectly, MultiversX does that. So it's not gas free, but like it's been paid by what we call a relayer. So when you create an exporter account, a wallet, you are able to claim, for example, your hero tag, and that generates a transaction which you don't have to pay. And I think it's the same for opening mystery boxes, but I might be wrong. But another network that does that and that I find quite interesting towards adoption is the Ronin network. So the Ronin network is its own chain. I'm not sure if it's a layer two. I don't think it is, but I might be wrong. And there you have like 10 or 15 free daily transactions. And it's obviously a gaming blockchain. So the transaction fees are already very low, but this is like the extra step so you don't have to buy any run token to be able to start discovering the blockchain. And I think that's something we should keep in mind towards adoption, to have an easy way to onboard without needing the native token, because there's a lot of apps that maybe people will come for the apps and not for the whole blockchain, and they will want to interact with those apps without having to think about getting a cryptocurrency.
If we make a connection with us MultiversX, is it already possible to pay fees for the user, or it will be possible on the sovereign chain? There's something around this, no?
Yeah, it's possible. So basically, anyone can run a relayer. So the relayer but the relayer is off-chain basically. It's a server, so you need to connect to a DApp. So for example, you could create the GRM DApp, and each time someone connects through it, instead of them sending the transaction directly, it goes through your server. You wrap it up and co-sign it and say, okay, I'm taking care of this transaction for the user, and but it needs to be connected through your DApp. So so, for example, we were discussing that with a POXP. We can't do that without having users connecting to our own DApp.
POXP is like the POAP on MultiversX, and you founded this, Joachim. You made one for proof of talk.
Indeed, we co-founded it with Kevin Lallemant from Middle Staking. We wanted to create a social fun way to interact, and indeed, there was one distributed by Kevin during Proof of Talk and the X Alliance evening.
I had one. I received mine. Okay, yeah, it's interesting. I think it will be very, very necessary for adoption to remove this fees part, and especially on gaming, in my opinion. You cannot ask people to pay fees just to shoot at someone or to play in a game. But yeah, okay. Thank you, Maxime, for this news. I think it's over.
Yeah, all good on my side.
It was really, really interesting. Thank you, Maxime, for this. Before we start the discussion and before we welcome our guest, um, maybe you want to speak a little about proof of talk and the X Alliance party on Monday, and yesterday the closing party that was sponsored by MultiversX. It was amazing. Maybe Maxime, you want maybe I don't know, tell us what you enjoyed the most during the event, and yeah, you were not there yesterday at the closing, or maybe I missed you.
Yeah, indeed. So the thing is, I went only at the event in the afternoon because so I had a lot of work to do. But basically, I think the event compared to last year, it was. I mean, this year was really amazing. It really like really yeah, it's really better, and I like to see this evolution. I think it's great. Many people were there, many big brain also. So it's always nice to meet people, and by big brain, you are included, Jerome. Uh, so basically, I also did some side events. I did one with the Cryptosphere and Cryptosphere Accelerator. So for those who don't know what is Cryptosphere, it's historically the biggest French student association, and now it's getting really bigger as many
Blockchain,
companies.
blockchain,
Oh,
French Association.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Thanks for the precision. Yeah.
No, it's obvious
uh,
for you, but
and well, so basically, this was great. You know, they organized an event. It was at Palais Brongniart, so it was really amazing. Many people there. And yesterday, indeed, I did not go to the official party. Because I went to a private dinner that was great, but a bit more like institutional. But yeah, it was amazing, basically.
okay. And what about Siborg? Did you meet I don't know, like potential VCs, users, or I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I met some VCs, so it was interesting. I also, talk a little bit with Stani about Lens because we integrate Lens, and so yeah, to see how
Mm,
things are going and the future evolution. So yeah,
mm,
definitely good to see all those people and great for us.
okay. We can mention something that we are very proud about. There was a pitch competition there with 300 participants. And guess what? Sal Protocol won. And that's amazing. The whole team was there, and a part of the team, we know them a lot because they built Atom on MultiversX, and yeah, it was really, really, really exciting when they won the first prize for the pitch competition. We very, very proud of this, and you know what? They just released a website and a video. It was like a blast. And now the 2 weeks after, they win the first place for the pitch competition of Proof of Talk, sponsored by MultiversX. So it's a lot of big and very good awareness for Soul, of course, but hopefully for MultiversX, because the team is basically, we can say, born on MultiversX through Atom. So yeah, it was really, really interesting. And yeah, about the event itself, it was yeah, very cool. Very For me, it was interesting since well, I it was the opportunity to meet my friends like I do all the time at this event. But also we met the whole, well, not the whole, but part of the X Alliance. So we had fun, and also I met like so many people that will be the next guests of GM Web3. So yeah, it was really, really cool. Joachim, I don't ask you what you thought about it, but I knew you wish you were here. But yeah, next time, Joachim, I hope.
Definitely. And as consolation prize, I know I get to see you in a few days anyway. So
Yeah, we will meet like at a private event, we can say.
indeed, but not that kind of private event.
Sorry?
Nothing, I'm just messing with you.
Okay. So let's start the discussion. I will send the link to Robert and Dan because I can't see them in the audience. And in the meantime, we welcome Pantamis. Your first name is Theo, correct?
Hey guys, do you hear me well?
Mm, not,
No.
not very well. So maybe you can try to.
Okay, so I will
In,
just remove the headphone
there's an
just to
echo. Yeah, there's an echo. So I'm sure we can do better. But welcome, Theo.
Hey, is it better?
Yes,
Okay.
way better. Welcome, Theo. Of course, when we start, you will be able to introduce guys. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. It seems like my school run for the morning. I got back just at the right moment because as I joined, you were like, "Oh, I don't see him anywhere." Like, no, I'm here. So I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. Welcome on GM Web3. Very happy to have you this morning. And we are waiting for Robert, the last of the three. I hope he'll join soon. What time should I enter? He asked me. Now, I met Robert yesterday and on Monday in real life for the first time. It was really cool. I don't remember. Maybe I met him at X Day, but we did not really have time to talk. But it was very interesting to see the whole MultiversX core team and to have a very, very interesting discussion. So yeah, Robert should come in a second. Is here. Hello, Robert. How are you?
Hello, all good in the airport in Vienna.
Yeah, okay. Because you were in Paris for Proof of Talk, and now you're in the airport to go back home.
Exactly. Waiting a few more hours here.
Okay, the flight is on time or is there a delay?
Now everything's on time. It's okay.
Okay. So welcome, the three of you, and yeah, it will be interesting to discuss about layer two Bitcoin, app chains, blockchain scalability. I'm very exciting to receive you guys to discuss about this. So first of all, I will let you introduce yourself for the people that maybe don't know you already. Theo, you are our R&D engineer and researcher at Allen Markets. Can you explain a bit your background and what is Allen Markets?
Hey, so LN Market is a trading platform for like very fast trading with Bitcoin. And me, I'm working on a new tech which is called DLC for discrete log contracts, and I'm working on DLC markets, which is a new product for OTC for institutional. And it will be it's a project that try to make the trading as much as self-custodial as possible. So meaning that at all times you are in control of your funds from the moment you open the position to the end, even with during the contract. So it's exciting. And me, I actually I have a PhD in applied math, and it was not on cryptography but more on AI, and I start to be in Bitcoin like 2 years ago, and I have been hired by LN Markets to work on the DLC subject. So yeah, that's my background. I also did a lot of podcasts last year, but currently it's a bit on resume. So
Okay, you know what, Theo? Yesterday, because I didn't know you before, so we were introduced by a common friend, and I didn't know you, to be honest.
yeah,
But I spoke
normal.
about you to few people yesterday at Proof of Talk, French people, and that's amazing how people told me, really? This guy is the best tech guy about Bitcoin in France. I said, really? So I'm really, really happy to meet you this morning. And yeah, you're a real crack, as they say. Welcome, Pantamis. Maybe now, yeah, Dan, you're founder of Radix DLT, focused on creating a scalable and secure infrastructure for decentralized finance. Can you, yeah, the same, explain your background and what is Radix in a few words?
Yeah, sure. So I started off as a game developer many years ago. Then I moved into mobile applications, mobile payments, and then discovered Bitcoin. Played around with Bitcoin a little bit and realized that some things were going to be an issue in the long term, such as scale and centralization and mining efficiency and all these things. And so started the Radix project over a decade ago. Took it quite slow. The focus was primarily research for a large number of years. And now we're building out that research into a L1, which focuses on user experience, user security, developer experience, and extreme scalability. And when I say extreme, just a couple of days ago in our testnet for the next rollout on our roadmap, that network achieved over 200,000 swaps a second. So smart contract swaps, 200,000 a second. So we are getting there on all three of those areas.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. It's your first time on GM Web3. I knew you a bit since you made some amazing spaces with our friends DB Crypto and Radix. So yeah, I'm very happy to welcome you this morning on GM Web3 for this exciting discussion. Now let's, yeah, Robert, co-developer at MultiversX, working on a lot of things, but especially sovereign chains that enhance interoperability and scalability. Robert, same challenge, a bit of yourself and about MultiversX and what you do there.
Hello, everyone. I have started actually my development year started at Google doing graphics, and after that, I went into AI, self-driving cars, until I've met Benjamin and Lucian to start building on Elrond in 2018. And since there, I'm here right now, renamed, or 2 years ago, renamed to MultiversX. We are sharded ecosystem with a bunch of innovation working, and right now we released our first versions of sovereign chains in which people can take everything we've been developed since the last few years and launch their own chains, which are also interconnected to multiple ecosystems.
Okay, very cool. You were at Proof of Talk, Robert. So I think you spoke about sovereign chain sharding and scalability for 2 days to many people. What was the main topic of Proof of Talk, the main narrative that you talked about there?
We talked about a lot of things there with different people with different topics. there were a lot of business-related discussions, mostly. There were a lot of institutions there, banks, looking into the space, what they can do. Then gaming industry was there, having a few discussions, and they were actually saying out loud that everybody is using sharding, so they don't understand why there is so much hate against sharding. But you
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe here with Dan, we had some good debates last week against non-sharding people.
Mm-hmm. From
Um,
Solana, we can say.
yeah, from Solana at that time. And a lot about like how to run sovereign chains, what is scalability, how to create applications. These were the main topics we have discussed.
Okay, so let's maybe start the discussion with a small introduction, and after, guys, I prepared some like questions, of course, but feel free. I mean, the audience, the guests, my friends, of course. Feel free if you want maybe to go somewhere else, if you want to add something. Maybe I did not think about everything about the topic since I'm not a tech guy, but I did my homework this morning. That's why I just slept 3 hours. But yeah, feel free to propose some other issues. So first, Bitcoin faces challenges such as slow transaction speeds, high fees, limited smart contract capabilities, and like layer 2 solutions aims to address these issues by processing transactions off chain, thereby enhancing scalability and functionality. So it's a crucial aspect that can enable the development of decentralized applications that can settle on Bitcoin. And our discussion today will explore various aspects of Bitcoin L2 solutions, including app chain, the use of server chains. We'll speak, of course, about Lightning Network and maybe the other, we can say, Bitcoin L2. We'll speak also about something if you are aware of, and I'm sure you are, Opcat, which is the opcode that was originally part of Bitcoin scripting, and that is proposed to come back to enable a smart contract and more possibilities on Bitcoin. So, first of all, and that's my question that I will start with, if you agree, guys. Um, do you think Bitcoin will compete Ethereum as a settle layer for options? For dApps, sorry. So who wants maybe to start about this? And of course we'll see where it leads.
So maybe I can start about this. So
Yes.
currently, as you talk about the Lightning Network, which would be what we would call as Bitcoiners, the main layer 2 who make it into Bitcoin, really. I think it's a good idea to start by just saying that when Bitcoiners talks about L2, they are maybe a bit more severe about the security guarantees than how other would call something an L2. In the case of Bitcoin, L2 is just a way to organize off-chain transactions. That means that you always, when you use a L2, you always have at your disposition, you always have a transaction that you can publish on the blockchain to claim your Bitcoin on the L1. So there is no, it should not be confused with what we call sidechain, where like the transactions are batched by some guy who promised to return the Bitcoin, where we can verify that all the transactions they assume in their ledger is valid and so on. So it's really different in terms of security hypothesis, meaning that you should be able just by yourself unilaterally and without having to ask anything to anyone to be able to claim your Bitcoin at any time if you have any doubt about the security of the L2. And so Lightning Networks make it, but Lightning Networks is mostly for payments. because the Lightning Network has some, it requires to synchronize a lot of people to do a payment, like certain people, what we call the payment routing in the Lightning Network. And for the application you talked about, it is more about programmability, so meaning being able to have some kind of smart contract on Bitcoin. And you have some kind of L2 project that exists for long but didn't make it for now to do some smart contracts. And the main example I have in mind when you talked about programmability on Bitcoin through layer 2, it's something called RGB. So RGB, because it's kind of inspired by colored coin, which is a very old protocol to create some kind of token on Bitcoin. But in RGB, you are able to create some contract that you can enforce on-chain and verify on-chain, and it can be used for many things. You can create tokens, obviously, but with there is some kind of perspective where you can even go to having some stable coin, having some automatic market maker and stuff like that. But it's really far away for now. It didn't make it into Bitcoin for now. And it's also compatible with Lightning too. You can do some payment on RGB layers through Lightning. But for now, it's really small. So for now, we don't have really something which solves the programmability, the possibility of programmability on Bitcoin is quite limited. You have to use the Bitcoin scripts, and you talked about Opcat, but this is a topic for later, so I just there.
No, and thank you very much for this. It's important to clarify the terms to make sure everyone's talking about the same thing. Maybe Robert, what do you think is the point of verifying the integrity of a transaction on Bitcoin rather than Ethereum or even MultiversX? Because this is what L2 Bitcoin is about.
First, I would agree with Pantamis. In order about an L2 should have the properties that the user by itself can retract their funds. That should be a fact. But if we look at L2bit.org right now, there are not so many L2s even in the Ethereum space, which market themselves as L2, who offer this kind of security. But if you want to be purist and if you want to go into this direction, I totally agree that an L2 should do that. But until you get there, you may do some compromises. In Ethereum or in MultiversX, you can do this by, for example, you can write a sidechain, and the sidechain is creating settlement on these general smart contract platforms. And through this settlement, there is a possibility for the user at always to use a so-called exit tree, in which he posts a transaction on the L1 network and he gets his funds back on the L1 network. Now, this is quite impossible to do for more complex cases in Bitcoin because of the limitation of Bitcoin scripts and limitation of how many Bitcoin script operations you can do in one single transaction. But I think if you start with a sidechain and some multi-party computation, relatively big multi-party computation for getting in and getting out, and when Opcat is added or other operations are added, then you can offer these kind of securities as well to the users, and the users would, at that time, your sidechain would, in some sense, acquire the security of the Bitcoin network as well. That's one of the big differences between being able to program verification and exit trees versus relying on the Bitcoin speed.
Yeah, thank you, Robert, for this. Dan, Radix is more than a wallet. It's also a way to program things, to make transactions, and to make maybe DeFi easier. What's your position about the connection between DeFi and Bitcoin? Do you think we will see a DeFi ecosystem on Bitcoin, maybe through L2 Bitcoin?
No. So I'm gonna be the devil's advocate in the room. So I'm not a fan of L2s as a scalability solution anyway, because the way the security guarantees and the decentralization, liveness, all the proof stuff, you just have a lot of tricky surface area in terms of security that you have to deal with. And sharding, in my opinion, is a much better route for scalability. There are some legitimate use cases for.
I'm sure Robert agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the industry is what at the current moment. So sovereign chains should somehow connect the industries and at least, let's say, somehow finish all these infrastructure wars, and then let's focus on users.
Right. Well, okay. So I've got a bit of a longish point, right? So L2's certain use cases fine, but as a scalability solution, there are better solutions. Bitcoin was on the course where it would still be able to compete, right? When Satoshi gave us Bitcoin, and the intention that he laid, the foundation that he laid, if Bitcoin had have stayed on that course, then Bitcoin would have had plenty of scalability to compete, at least now. Yeah, maybe not so much in the future, but at least now it would have had enough scalability to compete. Small micropayment transactions would have been fine because the block sizes would have been larger, so they would have had to scale. Micropayments, you're fine processing those with zero confirmation because you have the mempool, and providing that the network has 51% or more of honest actors, then at some point that microtransaction will be included in a block somewhere. And so an L2 wasn't really needed, right? And even in terms of execution, the stack-based programmability of Bitcoin could easily have been extended via some of the reserved opcode spaces that were there to have a second execution engine within Bitcoin that was Turing complete, aka like Ethereum, right? So you could have maintained the legacy stack-based language for legacy transactions, and you could have extended the execution capabilities of Bitcoin with a second execution layer, and that could have been triggered by some of the reserved opcodes that were there. But unfortunately for Bitcoin, since Satoshi stepped away, it's kind of lost a leg, right? Like the block size debate just ended its ability to be really competitive over the long term. And so now you have all these L2 solutions that are trying to sit on top of Bitcoin, but by losing that leg that it had, in terms of its ability to scale over time, its ability to extend the execution engine and have different flavors of execution, Turingness, stack-based, etc. We can't do that anymore with it. So it's kind of been pushed out of the market of competitiveness, and all it really does well, and all it can really do well over the long term, is be a strong store of value, in my opinion. I think Bitcoin will be important in DeFi as an ecosystem, because it does have some very nice properties. But in terms of DeFi actually taking place on the Bitcoin network, I don't think it'll be able to compete with emerging technologies over the long term.
Okay, thank you, Dan. I have a question for the three of you now. Just let me know which one wants to answer first. Starknet, Starkware, Osmosis, MultiversX presented different strategies to allow developers to choose whether to settle on Bitcoin or on different chains. So what do you think, guys, of this strategy of taking advantage of decentralization and security of Bitcoin network? And do you think it will compete with Ethereum in the next few years? And that's, I think, a good start maybe to speak about the challenge, the limits, and maybe the opportunities of such a thing. Yeah, Dan?
Yeah, so this actually fits into very nicely what I was just saying, right? So if any of you have kind of dug through all of Satoshi's old posts and stuff, Satoshi was a supporter of Bitcoin being a kind of network security layer for other kind of cryptocurrency networks, right? So you could backstop the security of a second network, like let's call, let's say Litecoin, right? Just for argument's sake. Litecoin could backstop its security onto the Bitcoin blockchain. So it would inherit the security of the Bitcoin blockchain, could do its own things, would also inherit some of the security. Now, that wasn't necessarily an L2 as such. It was more a interoperability thing between what would be Bitcoin and Litecoin. But the kind of the viewpoint here was, why would all these networks compete for security and decentralization when they can kind of merge mine, I guess, right, with Bitcoin and use the Bitcoin network as a means to backstop their security and decentralization. So it gets close to what an L2 is, but in the same way, it's also very different. There's some nuance there, if that makes sense.
Okay. Robert, can you maybe start by explaining your strategy to promote developers maybe to develop L2 Bitcoin via sovereign chains? And yeah, about the competition with, I mean, the biggest layer one at the moment, Ethereum as a settlement layer.
I think that Lucian in our sovereign demo had a good word that there was Ethereum appeared in 2016, but there was no one big bridge between or one really heavily researched created good bridge between Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Ethereum wanted to take the crown and to be the actual settlement layer for everybody. And by not integrating Bitcoin, not having the Bitcoin liquidity on Ethereum, they somehow fighted it. And I don't think it's necessarily it's a good thing. So and now everybody is trying to settle on Ethereum, but these kind of settlements, people right now are moving more towards side chains than settling, because it is just faster and it makes much more sense economically, and that the current place people don't care about like so much about security or decentralization, as we see a lot of people using Coinbase or other, let's say, centralized stuff a lot. Uh, the strategy we take with MultiversX is that you can take the sovereign chains in which you can create a general compute platform which scales, connect it directly to Bitcoin. Right now, the solution we are looking for is the multi-party computation run by all the validators. Here we could talk about like economic security, what who stakes and what stakes, but let's say it's not so important at what in the current moment. Then you could use the funds, ordinals, Bitcoin, and program everything. For example, in Wasm. I am saying Wasm because in my perspective, it's much far ahead of what EVM can offer at any time. So in this sense, you can bring Wasm execution to Bitcoin, which means that you can have the most complex operations over that existing liquidity, which is pretty huge. But I think that in order to make this a successful thing, uh, these kind of solutions have to be somehow approved by, not approved, but let's say supported by a minority or by a group from the Bitcoin ecosystem. So it shouldn't be like aliens coming to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin trying out new things.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Pantamis, you are um, a researcher at LN Market. What's the state of the art in terms of L2, and what's the limits of a Lightning network? And do you think one day Bitcoin will like become really a settlement layer? And what about the competition with Ethereum? Is it relevant or not at all?
It's a good question. We already talked about Lightning Network. So I would say that Lightning Network is currently the state of the art in terms of L2 who make it, meaning that it's used a lot. We use it to do payments with merchant and so on. It works really well. So I guess the scalability issue is more about programmability possibilities on Bitcoin, and it's a hard topic. And currently, we have several proposals. Like, for example, there was BitVM, which is a kind of hack in the script of Bitcoin to allow yourself to program your own VM somewhat in the script, but it's very limited in terms of pooling liquidity together. I talked about RGB, and RGB could be really a solution to kind of do what Ethereum can do on Bitcoin in a kind of with other token not than Bitcoin, but using Bitcoin security as a technology. I think it's also important to say that being able to settle, meaning going out of a sidechain with Bitcoin, is not something I would call the Bitcoin layer 2. And I think that when you talked about Starknet allowing people to get Bitcoin from the Starknet network, it's just a kind of economics saying, yeah, okay, you can have some Bitcoin instead of being forced to go Ethereum. But somewhat it does not say that the security of Starknet increase because you can just get your payout in Bitcoin. And when I say, for example, that RGB has the security of Bitcoin, it's really because its RGB transaction must be either a Bitcoin layer 1 transaction, either a Bitcoin Lightning transaction. So it's really Bitcoin transaction under the hood, and it's not the case with Starknet. And then you have all this proposal about BitVM. You also have something which is called ARC, which is a new protocol that was created last year, which use what is called covenants, which are opcode that must be added in Bitcoin to allow this kind of application where it facilitates the process of having some pre-signed transaction, and it can be used to do this kind of service provider to allow people to do payment with each other. And we can imagine to have some kind of programmability on these things too. But yeah, I mean, that's not really, there's OPCAT too, but I mean, for now, you have some proposal, but they have some difficulty with pooling liquidity together. It's already a hard topic in Lightning to handle the liquidity. And for now, we don't have a lot of solutions that try to provide this liquidity pool that we have in other protocol, because it's in Bitcoin, we consider that to be really self-custodian, then you must have some keys to allow the transaction to go through. So the issue is coordination between many people, all the people in the liquidity pool, which is kind of hard. So for now, we consider that we can't do that. And so you don't have much research about it. I think it's important to understand that all the solutions we talked about just before, that imply some kind of reduction in terms of security and decentralization. For example, in Starknet, it's not miner, but it's sequencer that are the problem, because you need the sequencer to include your transaction in kind of validity proof it will produce. You also need to trust that there is no other conflicting transaction in a conflicting validity proof that the sequencer didn't show to you, but plan to show you later, so that your payment from which you receive money cancel. So you have some security trade-off everywhere, and it's just that in Bitcoin we don't accept any security trade-off, and so that's why you don't have this kind of all-in-one solution where we have some kind of programmability where you are Turing-like complete, but not really, because you can't. If you were Turing complete, then you have the halting problem, so you cannot really do anything. Your network can just crash at the first transaction that creates an infinity loop. So this is hard, and maybe we will have that in Bitcoin, but in many years. I think something like 10 years would be like somewhat approximate statement.
Okay, guys. Of course, if you want to rebound on that someone said just before, feel free to do it. Okay, and really, Dan and Robert, if you want to answer Pantamis, or okay, feel free to do it. And if not, I would like to talk about interoperability, which is clearly the most important issue for entering, exiting, and re-entering an ecosystem, aggregating liquidity, facilitating and securing exchanges, encouraging adoption by masking the notion of a particular blockchain, different wallets, and so on. So, what role can Bitcoin play in interoperability? And maybe one of you can tell us if there is any solution today that are interoperable with Bitcoin without a bridge, or if it doesn't exist. Who wants to start?
I don't think there are solutions right now for this kind of things, and I don't see that Bitcoin to be an interoperability at the current state. I get what Pantamis had said about Bitcoin, and but I think that how the industry and the history of technology went through, it's quite sad that Bitcoin did not pursue with all speed the advancement of technologies and consensus and processing and everything, and did not create a, let's say, a better uh, base layer for everything. If it would have created, I think we would be at a different stage of the market, and then more people would focus on developing applications and not other infrastructure. In order to be a, let's say, in this sense, an interoperability layer, I think sovereign chains with the multi-VM support and with the native cross-chain operations can create the so-called chain abstraction for every single person, where he just uses one wallet somewhere, let's say, in on the mainnet or on one of the sovereign chains, which is, let's say, interoperable with several such several chains, and then from there he makes the puts his intent of execution different things, and then because of the native cross-chain operations, those are resolved by the processes built into the protocol, run by all the validators, and then the trust assumption, let's say it's at the validator level, which when they will got the ZK verifiers as well, then you will have those kinds of mathematical proofs as well.
Okay,
But
Dan.
just one more thing
Mhm.
about like why we need still more nodes and why we need still not only one sequencer or 10 sequencers. but we need nodes is in order to create the permissionless nature, no censorship resistant nature of a chain, which Bitcoin have really well created by having thousands of nodes through which you can push your transactions, and somebody will put it on the chain. This is one of the aspects for which we should really stay, because if we go into a situation where there are only a few sequencers for a set of operations, then it's pretty easy to censor everything. When there are thousands, you can't do anything.
Okay, I see, Pantamis, you agree with Robert.
Yeah. I think it's the sequencer is kind of like being able to mine in Bitcoin. You know, with Bitcoin, you can mine as soon as you have your own node. No one can impeach you to mine. You can always mine block, even if you have a very small hash rate. You would say it's insignificant, but at least you can, in the case where the network is attacked and you don't trust the longest chain, and because it's censored, so you try to invalidate some block in it and do your own chain if you need, in case of social attack, very strong. But the thing with sequencer is that if you are not, because generally you use sequencer and ZK proof and so on to scale your chain, meaning that you will do more transaction than what the normal user can handle with his machines. And so generally the sequencer is very expensive to run by nature, because there are too much transaction for a normal machine to run it. And so that's where centralization may happen, because now you need a lot of a data center to be able to process the transaction and create proof by yourself if you are censored by other sequencer. So I think that's where we are as Bitcoiner, we see it as a reduction of security, because now if you really have no way to send your transaction in the sequencer proof in the chain, then you have to do it yourself, and you actually can't. So that's, you could say, okay, that's kind of extreme and so on. Yeah, but that's really where we are in Bitcoin. We really think about all extreme cases. And so this is why you don't have much research for now in this kind of topic. Even if, as I said, there are people working on kind of hack in the script of Bitcoin to kind of allow this kind of things to happen in some kind of side chain. And about the interoperability, just to make it quick, we have some kind of interoperability in Bitcoins. For example, if you go to Bolt's exchange, you can exchange Lightning Bitcoins with on-chain Bitcoins. So this is a kind of interoperability, and you would say, okay, so it's Bitcoins against Bitcoin. What's the point? So this is interesting for liquidity management in case of Lightning. But a more interesting use case is when you can do some atomic swap. So you have recently, for example, Samurai Wallet made an implementation of atomic swap with Monero. So you can swap token between each other as if it were as trustless somewhat, meaning that programmatically guaranteed that you will have your coin if you send yours, and we can do that already in the case of Bitcoin with some kind of other chain like Monero. And we have there is no problem into generalizing this kind of protocol to more chains. For example, if you have some RGB token or Taproot asset or stuff like that, you could have some atomic swap protocol to exchange token between one another. The issue be compared to what you can have in Ethereum is that you don't have liquidity pool, meaning that you have to find yourself your counterparty when you want to do an atomic swap. So this is the issue, because generally in Ethereum you have some liquidity pool against which you will do your swap between tokens. And people in the pool are not actually there. It's kind of managed programmatically, and this is where it scales in terms of economic. But we have some like primitive interoperability in Bitcoin too, in that sense. That's all I want to say about that.
Okay, thank you, Pantamis. What's your take on this, Dan?
My apologies. I had to take a call when you asked the question. So any
Okay,
chance?
it was about interoperability mainly, and about maybe the actual the current solution of interoperability related to Bitcoin, and also about the issue about this. I mean, it's important, in my opinion, to be able to go on an ecosystem and to be able to exit and to come back and to maybe aggregate liquidity and to make exchanges and transactions seamless and so on. And what's the situation about Bitcoin, and what's the potential of it in terms of interoperability?
Okay, I think Bitcoin is very important in terms of interoperability, right? Because if you think about the liquidity that Bitcoin has, the amount of off-ramp and on-ramp that you can do with Bitcoin, it is by far the most accessible cryptocurrency. It's quite easy these days to on and off ramp to Bitcoin, and you know, with the advancements in kind of bridges and all those kind of things, it's quite easy now to also get value from Bitcoin into another ecosystem if there is something there that you want to interact with, a particular application or an opportunity, right? So I think this is another one of the very strong use cases that Bitcoin has, and it's a great position for Bitcoin to be in, right? It can, at least for the foreseeable future, be the kind of bedrock of the access to the traditional financial system, and the ability to move in and out of crypto and fiat and traditional finance via Bitcoin. It's quite frictionless. So it's very important that the entire ecosystem has at least some level of interoperability with Bitcoin, or at least a route to be able to get there, right? So if you want an L2 on Ethereum, then you can go from the L2 to Ethereum, from Ethereum over a bridge to Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin to your bank account, let's say, right? And that sounds like a complicated set of steps, but progress has been made across all of those areas where, from a user perspective, it could simply be just a click of a button. So it's a nice position that Bitcoin is in, and it's something that I think about quite often, and the team at Radix as well, on how can we leverage that unique position over the long term to improve DeFi for users.
Okay, thank you, Dan. We will finish this discussion in like 10 minutes. So maybe we can speak about your current project, and maybe it will lead us to a new discussion. Dan, maybe to start, about Radix. What's the main challenge for in a technical way for Radix, and in which terms you managed to address them?
Our main focus from a technical point of view is the kind of three pillars that I mentioned at the beginning, right? The user experience, the developer experience, and then scale. And we spent a lot of time researching scale over a decade on how do you scale to billions of users and IoT devices and all these things, right? But our rollout of the network is kind of back to front that you would expect. So scale is actually the last thing that we're going to deploy on the roadmap, because what's more important over the short to medium term is developer experience and user experience, right? And by those things, I mean that it's difficult to write a secure smart contract in Solidity, because you can make easy mistakes that result in reentrancy attacks and all these other things, right? And without getting too much into the weeds of all that. And so one of our areas of focus has been, okay, how do you improve that experience so that a developer spends more time building their idea rather than making sure that they've implemented their idea correctly, right? Because obviously security is important for the success of your project. If you deploy a smart contract and there's some some bugs that are in there that result in losses for your users, then your reputation is going to be damaged, and your business idea may not be as fruitful as it could be because of those things. So essentially changing the way that developers think about how they interact with smart contracts, because when you think about what a developer is really doing, they're just changing a piece of state, right? They're saying, okay, these tokens were here in wallet A and now they're in wallet B. The actual execution that happens between those two things doesn't really matter, right? It can be fully Turing, it can be asset oriented. What is happening on the actual ledger is something is changing, right? There's a state transition. And for most operations in DeFi, you don't need all of the flexibility and all those things that Turing completeness gives you, right? It's like a subset, a domain-specific set of actions that the developer is doing most often. So if you can implement a smart contract language that really prioritizes those features, still enabling some Turing completeness if needed, but you can put guardrails in place, you can make it more intuitive and all those kind of things, then your developer will be building more things because they'll be building more and not auditing. And the applications will be more secure and easier to use, right? And from the user experience, I'm sure everybody's familiar with the crypto user experience. It sucks, basically, right? It's good for all of us that are evangelists, I guess, because we're willing to put in the time to understand, okay, I should be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this, I should make sure my keys are secure and all these things, right? I shouldn't be clicking this link because I might get a wallet drain and all that stuff. But for normal people that aren't technical or aren't passionate about the technology, the user experience is confusing and it's hard and it comes with a lot of risk for them. So another area that we've been focusing on for a long time is how to improve that user experience, right? How to make it easier to understand for users, how to make it more secure, so that you don't need a degree in computer science in order to protect the value that you have, right? And then, of course, finally, the scalability piece, which I've already touched on a few times. So I don't think I really need to talk about that again.
Thank you, Dan. We have Moquette31 who asked for the mic. Hello, Moquette. Is it a mistake, or you wanted to ask something or to say something? Moquette one time, Moquette two times. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, Robert, let's maybe take a minute to speak about sovereign chains, L2 Bitcoin, the way you see it, sharding. What's the main challenge of this in a technical terms, and how MultiversX is addressing this?
I think that we have resolved a lot of the problems Dan was speaking about. The user experience is quite different in MultiversX. It is really seamless. Everybody can use it super securely. They are just a few clicks. It is getting even as the applications are implementing everything from every feature there is from the main chain. It is even easier and easier for users. On the developer experience, I'm quite proud of what we have right now with the Space VM based on Wasm, with Spacecraft SDK based on Rust. Uh, really easy to make all the operations. You don't have to think about so much about transfers and execution. You just call some APIs or opcodes and the protocol resolves it for you. Quentin is working on Swift as a smart contract language. I'm quite happy about it. To see that working, it will be even easier to do it than on Rust. Like really, Swift is really easy to learn for everybody, and everybody loves it. It's just super seamless, and these things are already working, and we are happy about it. Some new things will come in the in terms of being able to use passkeys even for your accounts, for your smart accounts, uh, in order to don't even use seed phrases. So even easier to do that. In terms of the protocol, we are going to from 6 seconds block. We have a bunch of innovations coming to go down to 1 second blocks and maybe even more even even less. We discovered a new consensus model, another one, and it's going to be fun. And all these innovations will bring even more responsiveness from the network for all the users. I think that sharding, it's just no reason not to go sharding. There is all those people, all those cons. Most of them are resolved, or everything is resolved. They People who attack sharding, they just didn't try it out how it works, and then they are just speaking their minds without seeing. But everybody in the internet is partitioning, so there is no reason to not go into sharding. And then you put all this together into a sovereign chain SDK in order to make sure that people can launch their application specific chains or to enter into institutions and other industries where they don't necessarily want to tap into a public existing blockchain, but they want to run their own blockchain. Because blockchain, in the end, it's like the best database ever created, and they want, in the end, to use it. So there will be multiple verticals on sovereign chains, from gaming to entertainment, uh, and I see a lot of like private, uh, confidential use cases as well, from medical industries to public institutions to everything out there.
Okay, very interesting. Pantamis, I don't know if you knew Radix or MultiversX
No,
before.
no, not really. I only follow Bitcoin, so
Okay, that's what we call a maxi, but that's
yeah,
interesting. Let's finish this with L and market and
yeah,
same. What can you tell us? What's the main issues? Because I know DYDX, and as
yeah.
far as I understand what you do, it's pretty much the same, but on Bitcoin.
Mhm.
But we know that perpetuals and derivative product are pretty expensive on DeFi. What's your way maybe to reduce the fees and to make it accessible to everyone?
Okay, so contrary to DYDX, we don't try to be decentralized for the case of the trading platform LN Markets. So lnmarkets.com, it's a trading platform for retail, and where you deposit and withdraw with Lightning, mostly if you do small amounts, and you can trade on the platform, but it is centralized. We don't advertise it as decentralized. It's just that as soon as you close your position, you can withdraw in Lightning and you don't have to wait confirmation and so on. But while you're you're opening your position, the funds are in our side. So this is because the issue of pooling liquidity, as I said, is not solved on Bitcoin. So this is the way we pool it, by centralizing. So that's why the products are cheap, because you are actually trading on a centralized platform. It's very close. It's a inverse future, which are settled in Bitcoin. So you get back some Bitcoin, you put some Bitcoin in margin. And so this is a derivative platform, which is quite classical if we remove the fact that you can deposit in Lightning mostly. But the other thing, I'm not working on these products. Actually, we are working on a new product which is called DLC Markets. So you can look at the website dlcmarkets.com. I wrote a white paper to explain the tech that solve some issue with derivative trading on Bitcoin. And so what we use is called discrete log contract, and that allow you to create some derivative products in Bitcoin, like in the Bitcoin blockchain, that are native smart contracts, kind of, because you actually don't see it's a smart contract directly, but it uses cryptographic primitive to emulate a behavior which is close to a derivative product. And so this platform, because we don't have the funds when you are taking your position in this platform, it will be over the counter desk for institutional, because that way we don't have to pull the liquidity. We're just doing some kind of clearance for them. And the use of DLC allow to just settle the project using an Oracle. So it's kind of integrating Oracle in Bitcoin. For people in retail that are interested in using DLC, there is a Bitcoin wallet called 10-10-1, which allow you to take some long or short on the Bitcoin over the Bitcoin price action using DLC. So in a kind of trustless way, you just trust the Oracle to sign the good price, so that you are able to all by yourself settle the contract and get your payout in Bitcoin without trusting your counterparty to give you that. And so that's what I'm working on currently. It's like making it self-custodial during the whole process, but because we still have issue with liquidity pooling, we only do it for institutional for now, and we will try to release it, the mainnet, at the end of the month. If all goes well. And so, yeah, I'm coding most of the cryptographic engine of this app. So I also use WASM to code it, and we do it on the browser for people to be always updated. And so, yeah, so we attempt to make to provide a kind of lightning network, but for institutional finance in Bitcoin. So that's exciting, but yeah, still a lot of research to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Pantamis. Guys, thank you very much for this really exciting and very interesting discussion. I hope the audience managed to understand and to understand the issue and how you aim to address all of this. Robert, when Sovereign Chain?
It depends on when people are launching it. I think Onefinity, Cyber Network, Midas Chain are the ones which may get out this year.
Okay.
Runtime verification is working with the PI squared, but that's a longer project from what I saw from them, and we'll see who else comes to launch.
Okay, so let's attract them. And good luck in this. This is the most important thing. We need builders. Dan, it was a pleasure to have you this morning. Let's keep in touch for next discussions. Very exciting and very interesting discussion. It was a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure to be here. Robert, every time we're on a Spaces, you're either in a car, on a train, at an airport. When are you going to be on a boat? I'm missing that one.
I don't know. I was like last year. I was in the boat maybe.
Okay, and yes, Pantamis, thank you very much for coming this morning. Let's just remind everyone that Pantamis is French, so I was really surprised how you can explain all of this very technical and very specific things in English. So congrats for this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We know that how French are about in English, but yeah, congrats for this. Guys, thank you very much. Have a very, very good day. And yeah, let's keep in touch for upcoming new discussion about blockchain and about all the topics that interest all of us. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
and we will now invite the CEO of MultiversX. Yes, Robert, you heard heard me well. We will receive Pepiamin Pincu. Hello, Pepi. How are you?
Jim, good. It's been nice listening to this conversation and seeing Dan so often in our community. I feel like he's part of the MVX or that we're part of the Radix community. It's cool.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I hope you guys understood everything. It was pretty technical, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and you learned. This is why we do all of this. Pepiamin, I wanted to receive you initially to speak about .9, but actually we will have like an interview. It will be your first interview on GM Web3, and we will try to get to know you more. Don't cry. It will be okay. And yeah, we will speak about your, I don't know, what you do on MultiversX, what you did maybe before, and what you plan to do in the future. We'll speak about X Alliance. We'll speak about, of course, your NFT project. And yeah, we'll try to get to know you more. Okay?
Yeah, I wasn't really prepared for this, but of course, I mean, sure.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
No, but it will be fun. Don't worry. So yeah,
Yeah.
first of all, maybe because some people here don't know you yet. Yeah, it's possible. Can you just make a small introduction of who you are and what you do?
Well, first of all, my Web3 name is Pepiamin Pincu, and for those who don't know, because I saw people that don't know that yet, this is a parody to Benjamin's name, Pepiamin Pincu, Benjamin Minku. Yeah, there are a few people who did not
Really? Okay.
yeah, get that yet. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm always having a hard time to describe myself. For now, let's just say that I'm an adoption maxi. That's the thing that I vibe the most with. I'm
Okay.
just
How?
Yeah.
Let's go. Maybe at the beginning, if you want. How did you discover MultiversX?
To be honest, I discovered it a while ago on TV. Benjamin was at a TV show and he was presenting MultiversX. And I actually tried to create a wallet then. It was the ERD times, but it was too difficult. It was too much friction. And, I got stuck at some point and I just gave up, which was really unfortunate because
It was
ERD.
it was Maillard or not yet?
It was not even my yard. Yeah,
Okay.
it was. I think the value was like $1 per coin or something like that. So I totally faded like a noob, and that's unfortunate. But fast forward like a year or something ago, no, fast forward 1 year, it was the whole GameStop frenzy, and I started to look again into the crypto space, and I just, after looking a bit and playing with some cryptos on Revolut and so on, I just got drawn the most by MVX. And that's how I landed here, let's say.
Okay, and were you a content creator before, or you started created content on Twitter, especially for MultiversX?
Well, more or less, let's see, my background is somehow in the creative industry. I've been working in corporate and as a freelancer in videography, photography, graphic design, content, and all sort of stuff. I've been doing this since forever. Playing on forums, on for those that are old enough, for MIRC, the first messaging Discord's grandfather, let's call it. So yeah, I've been online since forever, and I have a strong inclination in this meme section, let's say.
Okay, we'll speak about this. Okay, what do you are you you say a maxi adoption? Are you a MultiversX maxi? I mean, or do you take time sometimes to maybe discover other ecosystem, maybe to figure out in what way we are in advance and maybe in what way we are late on some topics.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with more ecosystems, and uh, on one part, I just like everyone grew very familiar here, and I feel very like home. And it's like difficult to try other ecosystems, but I do it from time to time. However, I still feel that MVX still has the best approach in terms of adoption because I do see a way for this technology to improve our lives, and I do think that MVX is still on the best path to do that.
And and that's my next question. What, in your opinion, is better, sorry, on MultiversX than on other ecosystem, and that will be maybe the reason why you decided to come and to stay here.
The first thing was what I think drew the most of us was the application that Mayar and now Exportal. It was kind of the easiest and the friendliest way to interact with crypto. And we all know that we need to remove a bit of that tech for the regular people to join. Now, yeah, there are new things coming up, but I feel that MVX has still built a lot of stuff in this direction that makes it easier for people to, I don't know, to interact here and safer and so on. I mean, safety, it's a boring topic that nobody likes to discuss about, but it's so obvious for regular people.
Okay. Okay. You let's speak about the scam thing. For a very long time now, you've had your heart to set on protecting the community by exposing the scammers, crooks, and so on. The latest is .9. So can you tell us how do your research and when, at what moment you decide to reveal the results to the community? Because it's a huge responsibility, especially when you are not sure about maybe the fact that they are scammers or not.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. And with .9, it was very rushed. Like I really wish I could have jumped on this earlier and to get more informations and more stuff because that would have made it easy to even catch them, not just stop them. But I just got on it on mean day and I looked fast, researched everything, looked at stuff, and I just went, we have to stop them now because they were at 1,000 means and they could have gone to 5,000. So I just prioritized to stop them. But yeah, it was risky. I was not sure because they did a pretty good job at social engineering and creating a very good surface level of trust. And why I kept talking about this project is that people, I really am not sure how they managed to do it so good, but people had like deep confidence in them. And that's why the community was so outraged after the scam because they really felt betrayed. It was like an established project that was here for, I don't know, 1 2 years that has rocked them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I will maybe tell you about because I did not really um, talk about .NET myself. I just congrats you, and I will do this live here. Congratulations for this. I think you prevent a lot of people from being scammed. But yeah, they contacted me. Yeah, to be completely honest, a few weeks ago, they wanted to do stuff like AMA threads and so on. And basically, I did my due diligence and I accepted to be completely honest. And they proposed me just before your post, Pepiamin, they proposed me to meet in Paris.
Yeah.
And I know that they did the same proposal to another builder I will not mention here, but they wanted to meet people in real life. And why? Because they told me, okay, we have some cash and we would like to pay you for the different marketing operation we agreed about. And when they told me that they wanted to pay me cash in real life, I told them that I was not interested in such thing, and basically I will not be available. So it was my first red flag. But to be completely honest, and I really want to be clear, except this part of the discussion, nothing was a red flag to me. Like the discussion was great. We created a private Telegram chat with the founder, or I don't know who, uh, and yeah, it looked pretty serious, but actually they never paid, and I never did the promotion, so I'm okay. But yeah, just because I never talked about this publicly, but that
Yeah,
happened.
that's really interesting to know. And this aspect is what created a lot of confidence from our community. The fact that they proposed to a lot of people to meet Mr. Spread, who's another member of our community that got kind of scammed by them. I think he supposes, and I think that's true, that they were following him pretty closely. Like they told him to meet up at Dubai. They have a private event, but they knew that he had another event at the same time and he could not join, you know?
Mm.
And that's pretty interesting. But at the same time, they also made some in real life videos. It's one from the Ritz Hotel in Paris, where it was clearly someone there. They had printouts with gold bars on the table and so on. So I I've said this on the other spaces as well. I feel like this was a scam that reminded me of Inventing Anna, the docu series from
I
Netflix, or
remember. Yeah.
the Tinder Swindler. So
Maybe
yeah.
they finished by believing it was not a scam. Before I give you the mic, Joachim, I just want to say that I'm really, really, really disgusted because I wish they had sent me some gold before disappearing. But anyway, yeah, Joachim, and after Lucid, go ahead, guys.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you
been.
receive some gold yourself?
I did not receive any gold.
Shit.
To be fair, like it's not a project that talked to me. Like I saw it popping up on Twitter, etc., and I was like, I don't really care about like metals. I prefer my coins in my ledger. But what I think the main takeaway from this whole thing is like this was the most elaborate scam. With, as Pepiamin explained, there's been social engineering, there's been giveaways. Like this was a well thought, a well planned scam. And as I think it was David Eagle who said that, he said like there are some notes to take for other projects on the marketing aspect, not the scamming aspect, on how they did it. Because as we say, like they raise as like if they were a well-established project on MDX when they had only been here for a few months. And what I find crazy is all the efforts they've put in. I have a feeling they have to be doing that continuously on like different blockchains and probably like reusing, etc. Because for the amounts that they store, and I'm not saying it's most money, it is quite a lot of money, but like for all the effort they've put in, and we see that there's probably several people behind it, etc. It has to be something they're doing like on a running basis. I don't see any other explanation for it, because if not, it would simply not be viable. It's so much effort.
Lucide.
Yeah, actually, I was exactly have the same idea as Joachim. So to be also more transparent on my side, I actually got the free NFT, but I sold right away um, because I didn't do the due diligence like Pepiamin. So I think I agree with you, Joachim. it's not worth it for them. Even I'm very sad for whoever lost, guys. I'm giving my support. I think they spent so much time. They wanted to get more, and thanks to Pepiamin and GB and I saw your action. We really prevented a big loss. But then the question is for the next step. Even if you think about how they operated, even if they were doxed, they could use fake name, right? So this is really, really important as a community. We need to think about how we can use third-party system, to make sure the funds are following a same process. And then even if this kind of situation happen, the funds stay in the contract and they cannot use it for their, own benefit.
Yeah, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Alexandru Berge from SEDT and DB. They pushed in the mean day for this to be checked out, and they also did some great stuff on their own. So that was incredible. Secondly, yeah, my assumption is that they used fake identities stolen from Facebook. I actually found two of the people that were on their website. I found them on Facebook and I messaged them, but I have not received any response yet. And yeah, it does seem like it was a big team, and that they plan to do more. In the night of the mint, after we exposed them and we were on space, they started to post all sorts of stuff to try to drag this further, to drag even more mints and so on. So yeah, that was interesting. But as for the next steps, I want to say that this is not really over yet. I don't want to give false hopes to anybody. It's very hard to catch them, of course, but we do have a name, and we do have some leads, and that's
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, because maybe it's the start of a new meta to find the scammers. Because in general, they left and they leave, and the community says, okay, let's move on. But yeah, maybe thanks to on-chain analysis and of course through centralized exchange, it will be possible to find him. Yeah, Joachim?
Just a quick one, because since we're talking about .9, but scams in general, I see there is quite, we see on, I guess it's Twitter, and obviously we always hear the most vocal people on Twitter, but wanting to point fingers and blame someone for when we get scammed, not wanting to take the responsibility ourselves for saying like I should probably have done maybe more due diligence, or yeah, they did a good job, I got scammed, it sucks. And like I don't say it happens, but sometimes sadly it does. I think most of us here have either minted a collection that's scammed or supported a project that's scammed, etc. If you've been in the space long enough, sadly it's and like let's be honest, it's the same in the Web2 world. Kickstarters, etc., that run out with the money or don't deliver anything is something that we find in the classic world. But we saw that people were blaming the core team, some of the core team, because they had won giveaways, etc., and they had just thanked for the giveaways. But I also saw complaints, for example, against, I see that Frameit is here, but against Frameit because the collection was still listed. And it's just like, do we want decentralization and being able to trade freely because they're NFTs, we own them? Even though it has the marker scan, do your own research, etc., or shall we go fully centralized marketplaces and just remove any collection, meaning that it makes it impossible to trade something that used to be or is a scam? Because as we've seen, we have, for example, Project X that has launched a way to claim back tax losses on NFTs, etc. So it could actually be interesting for some use cases. I know that the middle staking does some staking for it. Like there's been things that have been created for the community to give life again to the people who have been scammed. So yeah, I just thought it's an interesting topic to discuss. I saw you raise your hand, Pepe.
Yeah, you're right. I had some links about this. I decided to speak about the different initiatives around the scams. And you spoke about Project X, but it's not really Project X, it's the side project they bought. But yeah, it's divergent, I think, and also a middle staking with a staking, and you earn quack. So yeah, I like this. I really like this, and it's in a community initiative. Super Rare Bear also did something to compensate a bit the loss, and all of these community initiatives are just amazing. And you know what? I don't know if it exists on other ecosystem. I'm not enough on other ecosystem, but this is maybe what I love the most on MultiversX, is the way that people helped each other in front of this situation. I'll come back to you, Pepiamin, in a few seconds, but first we receive Adam. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Hi, GM guys. First of all, I don't know if I should curse Pepe or not, but I'll just send him a DM. Regardless of that, I wanted to step up to discuss about what Joaquim said about decentralization. So basically, when it's a confirmed rug, right now in the current marketplace setup at XOX now, at least, we are unable to just pause a mint, right? So the best thing to do, and we discussed internally when we hosted the space together with Pepe and Mr. Spread and everybody who joined, and we had even more evidence and even more people coming up and talk. We said, okay, the best decision is to just ban the collection so people can no longer mint or at least trade it on the secondary. But in the same time, I don't think, I mean, the NFTs still exist. When you ban a collection, you cannot delete what's on blockchain, right? But you just stop the UI UX part, and you stop users of interacting with that collections. But they can still use the Project X, so they don't need an NFT marketplace to interact with the Project X rug, whatever it's called. It doesn't come to my mind right now, or anything like that. Yes, please.
Yeah, so that's where will have to disagree, I guess. Like as you said, pausing the mint, etc. I'm 100% for it. There is, as you said, there was a lot of evidence backing it. But saying like we should remove from the UI, because as you say, like you can see interact with the smart contract directly, but obviously if you don't see it listed, like you're not gonna query the smart contract to see what you can buy. So like obviously like the front end plays a massive role. But like there's a lot of collections that are either abandoned, rugged, etc., that can still be traded and that have again found new utilities. So for me, it's actually a shame. What could be discussed is should royalties be removed when a rug is confirmed, so the collections can be traded without rewarding the original creators. But to remove it entirely, for me, yeah, is debatable in the Web3 mentality.
Let me just jump on this because I wanted to say that, yeah, centralization versus decentralization, it's a good topic, but at the same time, decentralization should not be an excuse to let these people live here. And from my point of view, yeah, it's hard to tell on certain projects, let's say, about what's a rug, what's a slow rug, what's a fail, and so on. But it's not really hard to tell what's a scam, what's 100% a scam created just to take money out, and so on. So in those cases, I would just fuck the decentralizations and just kill those guys because it's a scam. Doesn't deserve to be anywhere and do anything.
But then you're saying that any initiative that has been taken, for example, with rug royalties or again Quark with middle staking, shouldn't even be taking place because again it gives a platform to the NFTs generated by that wallet and that scam project.
No, because to be fair, there are very few that are scams that have remained. Most are rugs, slow rugs or fails, and so on. I'm mostly talking about hard scams that just come in, take the liquidity, and take it out. That's a scam.
Yeah, but But Divergent promoted the fact that you could use the .9 NFT to on their platform. So they are enabling the fact that you can use them and giving a use case to a token that is purely scam. I know that like it goes into a wallet and potentially will be burned, etc. But I know it can be resold, etc. But that's a topic for another day. But like, so you're basically picking and choosing how you can interact with a scam NFT. But again, this isn't the topic of today, but I think it's an interesting one to have.
Yeah, no. In this particular example from Divergent, the RUG royalties program, it's one that's meant to help you write off taxes. So this is a pretty particular example to say, because you can write everything off, even if it's a scam or a RUG or and so on. On other examples, it's up to the people if they want to help those who got rugged, of course. But I mean, I don't see it linked to this subject that much. The people that help those that got scammed or rugged and so on.
Yeah, I can give an honest take on this. XOXNO will always stand by the community when it comes to confirmed ongoing rugs, and it's a different, you see, it's a different topic, and we can have a completely other space to discuss about rug versus scam or failed projects. So we can speak about this hours and hours. But just to keep it short, a scam, it's when, from my point of view at least, it's when the people who launch a token or an NFT or whatever, they have their intention from the beginning to just steal the funds and just
I
go
agree
away.
with this 100%.
So it's a different. A rug might be like, you can say a project, it's a rug after 1 year, but it can also be a fail. They tried, they didn't make it, bad management, bad decisions, whatever. But yeah, it can be a completely different space on this. But I get Joaquin's point.
I think we disagree on the definition of a rug. A rug is intentional. I know that people use in the community the definition of slow rug and rug a bit frivolously, but a rug is when you created a collection or a project with the sole purpose of rugging, of pulling the funds. So no, a rug could be happening 2 days after launch, and in most other community, like for example Solana, a rug is something that tends to happen like immediately after the mint is over.
Yeah,
So
I agree with this. I agree
rug
with
equals scam. Then we are on the same page. It's okay.
Yeah,
you need to make the difference between the rug pull, the slow rug, the fail, the scam. I think we should write a dictionary about this. And but yeah, you're right, guys. It was not. It's a very interesting. And thank you for this, Joachim. But let's move on now a bit. But now Adam is here. It's very interesting. It was not planned, but let's do this. What's the responsibility of XOXNO in the what? No, not the responsibility. I will rephrase my question. What's the due diligence process of XOXNO when they decide to organize the mint of a project? And did you have any doubt about this project before, or not at all?
So basically, as you all know, XOXNO, it's a decentralized marketplace, so anybody can launch a collection. There, I think at some point Mihai posted some stats, over 40% of the NFT collections launched on MultiversX were launched through XOXNO. If you are referring to the blue check mark or the verified part, so basically we are looking into, first of all, the art. If it's a copy paste from other blockchains, we had multiple cases of people taking the art from I don't know, Solana, Polygon, whatever you name it, and just uploading it on our ecosystem and just mint it.
And it's
So
a manual verification, or you use I don't know,
no,
AI
at this point it's a manual verification. The projects need to complete a form, they add all their details, or they open a ticket on Discord. But In the future, it will be automatically. Also, we'll introduce the KIC part for creators. So it's going to be a new check mark for projects that really want to have docs, founders, and so on. But to get back to the blue check mark, so basically we are looking at the art first, not to be a copy pasta. Second, we are looking at the socials. So Twitter account engagement, partnerships, and so on. Community engagement. And if it's an ongoing mint, we are also looking at wallet distribution and so on, because we know there were cases in the past where people just minted out their own collection just to create that fake hype of having a first stage or second stage of sold out, but it's the same 2, 3, 4, 5 wallets that minted the collection. So basically, yeah, these are the, let's say, the major points that we are looking on. And unfortunately, .9 had it all. I mean, they had the original art, they had the community, they had the engagement, they had the partnerships with different projects, the interactions, and everything else. Once we saw questions and different red flags, to say so, raised by the community, we removed the blue check mark, and then we just waited for people to see if it's a confirmed rug or not. But for the moment, we just removed the verification. And when you remove the verification, when you press mint or you want to trade or whatever, you have that pop-up who says that you do it.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting because as a marketplace, you have the permissionless thing, but you also have the I don't know, like marketing package or interaction on socials and so on, and it must be difficult for it's difficult for KOL like us, but it's also difficult for NFT marketplace to
Let
how to
me
say. Yeah,
let me just
go.
top on that yeah, it's difficult for KOLs and for marketplaces to verify thousands and tens of thousands of collection, and that's why the responsibility still sticks on the user, because you as a minter, you only have to mint, you like one project, you have to mint it, you just focus on that project. So that's why it's still your responsibility to check everything as best as possible.
I agree with on this, and in the meantime, and if you don't have time, only invest what you can lose, and only invest on the project that you understand, and not just because someone told you it was interesting to invest in. Yeah, Adam, before we will move on.
Yeah, so you mentioned something about the marketing part or packages. We never received any money to promote any project. Even if you remember, at some point there were those banners. So when you went on XOX No, we had that above the top collections. We had a banner, and we used that banner 3 times until now. I think it was when the Mafia minted, as far as I remember correctly, when Eumalele collection minted, and for Super Victor. So again, we didn't receive any funds, or we don't have any marketing packages. We just took the decision to stand by different initiatives. With Super Victor, it was a no-brainer to just go ahead and help him and offer him that spotlight. Eumalele, it's a well-known, renowned Romanian artist, and we also stand by the project. Yeah, again, I want to emphasize on the fact that even if a collection is verified by us, I think right now, from all the collections that are verified on our marketplace, most of them maybe don't even exist. But at the moment where they requested the verification, from our point of view, it was a project that deserved that check mark. But in the same time, even if a project has that check mark, it's not endorsed under any form, or I don't know how to say it. It's not backed up by XOX in any way. It's just, it's not fake art. They have a community, they have socials, they have an idea that it's worth pursuing, to say so. But you should always do your own research before you mint or you trade or you do anything like that.
Got it. Thank you, Adam, for this precision. And yeah, I hope you understand it was not at all an accusation. I started by saying that even myself, I was about to work with them. But thank you for the precision about this. Okay, Pepiamin, let's maybe continue a few minutes our interview. Um, so my question is about how do you your research? I mean, what's the red flags that really reach you the first? And maybe it's just about DM you receive from the community, or maybe you take some time for every maybe new project that pop in the ecosystem, maybe to try to find some things. And if yes, which are the biggest red flags you see the first?
Yeah, so look, deciding on what project to look at, that depends on cases. For example, in my NFT community, people have come from time to time and they ask me, "What do you think about this?" Because they don't have the time or experience to do the research, and I do it for them. But what I look at, that indeed, I've struggled to see how can I explain this to people, because it does come from experience. You know, I've been online for 15 years. I've been familiar with scams going
You're
on
so
Web2
old.
website. Yeah. And that's just experience that I got from all type of phishing emails and sketchy websites and going on the dark web and on everything. So indeed, that's hard to replicate, but there are a few things that people can look at, and it's like trying to find things that don't add up. Like they were saying, for example, .9, that they have a company registered in Switzerland. That's actually something that you could verify. You know, just nobody really took the time to verify. Yeah, Adam, go ahead. And I'll
Yeah,
continue.
I took the permission on this topic to
Sure.
pin something on your space. So we have the guys from VD Law who assisted multiple projects up until now, and they're close to the MultiversX community overall. And basically, they are a well-known law firm. And after the entire 9 dot thing, they created a form for everybody to use it. And in case you're not sure about the collection and you need some lawyers to check it from a professional point of view, you can complete that form and they will assist you with an opinion for free. And that's it, something that we should salute.
Okay. Okay. You pinned it on the space. Thank you. As you can see, Joachim, I learned how to pronounce pinned.
I'm extremely proud of you.
Okay. Yeah. So Pepiamin, okay, you talked about experience, about yeah, the thing. Okay. Let's maybe speak about X-Alliance, Pepiamin. We received Lucas a few times here. We met him in Paris yesterday and the day before. The first in real life event was a blast. It was a real success. It was
Oh, please shut up.
amazing.
I'm
I,
already
I
FOMOing hard.
Why did not you come,
Because
Pepiamin?
I just moved back to Romania and I was in the middle of moving stuff and so on, and I could not schedule this, unfortunately.
Okay, I hope next time you'll be
Yeah.
there. It was very cool. And yeah, let's speak about X Alliance. When and why did you decide to be part of it? And what's your role, if there are roles among the first members of the X Alliance organization? And third, how do you see this X-Alliance maybe in 6 months? What would you like to see organized through this organization?
Yeah, so I mean, I was there from day zero, let's say. I talked with Lucas a lot about this, but he took on the challenge of actually executing it. which was a very, very hard thing to do. But yeah, this is something that I've dreamed about, like a lot of people, and I have tried to do all sort of stuff in that direction. And I even wrote a growth thesis thing about it and talked about how I would envision an organization like this to support. It was mainly taught for developers, to support developers and projects. But through reiteration, this grew into X Alliance, which should support every community member. And yeah, I'm excited about it because it's a channel that's opened between everybody that wants to contribute. And what Lucas keeps saying about this, and what everybody should understand, is that it's not just about the ideas. Ideas, they are easy to have, and it's about the execution. You have an idea, let's help you figure out how to execute it. It's not just throwing money at stuff, it's just providing the support needed to execute that idea as best as possible. And if your idea is very, very good and you literally don't know how to execute it, then let's help you find some people that know how to execute that idea. So I do hope that this will grow into an initiative that will onboard people and that will support community members that have the same goal as us to make this ecosystem into an economy. I mean, that's my dream. And I vibe a lot with Foodrest, who also writes about this dream as well, to allow people to live on the blockchain, to have jobs here, to use it daily, and so on. If we focus on this, this is what matters and what will also make the price go up for the traders that only care about this. So yeah, in my opinion, the goal is to create an economy in which all we can live and have fun and do whatever the fuck we want.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much for this. Okay, my last question will be about your NFT collection. We have you launched your NFT collection. I have a few. Uh, and so what's the point? What's the situation of the collection? What's happening since the mint?
My project was always supposed to be a support project to help initiatives or other projects grow and to also develop some initiatives of our own. The project is still there. I did had a plan to expand it into a season 2 with some other stuff that I always wanted to do from the start. But unfortunately, the timing wasn't right. I do have the stuff prepared and so on, but I've been saying this for a long time. Timing is everything. If you launch something and it's not the right time, it will just go to shit. And the project still lives on. We did a few initiatives. We did the chess thing, which Benny was talking about. It was something that helped him change his perspective about community interactions and somehow led to X Alliance. And there are different stuff that have been done that are hard to quantify, but they're all for the growth of the ecosystem and in turn helping everybody grow.
Okay, and to be concrete, and the same question as X Alliance, how do you see your NFT collection and the community around it in I don't know 6 months, 1 month, 1 year, just to know what's the aim and what you plan to do with the funds that you raised?
Yeah, the point is, it was from the start to create a community of like-minded people that have the same goals and that strive to do things together. And we took some investments, let's call it like that, together, which did not perform so well, unfortunately. But
Like a DAO, like you use
Yeah.
the money raised to buy stuff and to try to sell, to take profit on it. Yes.
Yeah, to make
Okay.
it as long-term investments.
It
And
was like a token or NFTs or both.
NFTs,
Okay.
Hughes was our biggest bet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which,
Okay.
yeah,
I
which
have one left, so I hope it will. Frank,
Y-
please do something.
yeah, that turn took a very weird turn, unfortunately, but they still have some merit with the things that they can provide, and you still can get some value out of that community. And I did try to leverage that for NVX a couple of times, and I'm some were successful, some weren't, and I will still be able to do that. So yeah, that's one point. But the main thing is that the goal of my project is to be a community and to be support for other stuff that help the entire ecosystem as best as possible. And that's what I'm always also trying to do with Bobber and with a lot of other projects that I'm helping. Because, like I said in the beginning, I'm an adoption maxi. I just want this ecosystem to grow and to win, and that's my main drive.
Okay. Let's finish with Bobber. We cannot not speak about Bobber with you and with Adam on the space. You know what? Yesterday we were talking about Bobber. And you know my opinion about the lunch, but let's speak about the artistic direction. Okay, there's something I love with Bobber is all the visuals, all the memes that you do, they are just all very, very funny. So congrats for this. And who does these beavers always more funny?
Yeah, it's we have Kujet, who's been in our community for a while.
Okay, the pixel guy.
Yeah, he's
I
great.
love him. He's very, very cool.
He does the art, but the ideas, it's something that we all do together. We come up with ideas, we make them better, and we turn them into as best as possible memes. So yeah, with Bobber, like I said, the vertical is to grow the ecosystem through meme coins. And we all saw that this is an opportunity. In the first days of the launch, the X portal activity grew by 50%. And yeah, that's very interesting. And there has been different discussions, and I'm tired of people accusing me of being a communist just because I always talk only about Bobber.
No, you know what? From my part, and I will let you continue, of course. From my part, to be honest, you know, it's like tomorrow I decide to speak about politics. I mean, people will say, okay, brother, we don't care about politics. We followed you because of your, I don't know, like crypto opinions or Twitter spaces and so on. And like about you, Pepiamin, and that's what I posted, and I'm okay to speak with you about this. It's like, Pepiamin, I really liked your content. It was educational. It was sometimes stopping scammers. It was fun things and so on. And in my opinion, in the last, I don't know, last weeks, it was like 100% about Bobber. And yeah, sometimes I was saying like, okay, the old Pepi, I miss the old Pepi. And when you did the .9 thing, I say, okay, my guy, he's back. So that's what I wanted to say on my post.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, and I know it's maybe overwhelming a bit, the fact that I do get myself involved in so many things, but that's just because I see all of these things working towards the same goal. And if, yeah, it's one that's too obnoxious, just mute it. That's for everybody, and just move on. But yeah, go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so I want to tap in a little bit on the communist side because people often also accuse me of the same thing.
Can you, because I don't know what you're talking about. What is this communist thing? Can you explain? I think I did not follow this.
So basically, people were accusing me and Pepe being communist, as in we said that only Bobber exists and there's only one, and all others should not be launched.
Maybe
Yeah,
The Bobby
No,
meme
no,
coin?
no,
No.
way before the
Okay,
Bobby.
okay, okay, okay.
No, so the idea is the next one, and I wanted to expand a little bit on it. Uh, as you said, Pep is here he's on MultiversX Maxi. I am as well a MultiversX Maxi. I don't hold any other coins, just eGold and other PSDTs and things like that. So basically, our view and purpose, and why we said that it's not okay to launch other tokens while Bobber was still at 17 million market cap, is because we were so close on getting the attention from outside. Because if you compare memes on Solana, for example, which is so well known for memes, and this is what
Mm-hmm.
part of it pushed Solana where it is in terms of price also because of memes, right? So basically what we wanted to say is that we need one successful meme to reach a certain market cap and do a certain profit in terms of axes to attract people from outside, right? But when we saw all these other meme coins trying to launch on the success of Bobber, of course, because we are a small ecosystem and there's not so much liquidity, people started to sell Bobber and they chased other meme coins that launched. For example, I don't know, Bemi, Capi,
Mm-hmm.
whatever other names, right? And that's how you no longer have the attention on Bobber and you can no longer attract people from outside into the ecosystem. Because if you wait just a
So the
little
only
bit,
way is the monopoly?
no, I would say it's more like a timing and patience point of view. Think about it like if Bobber would go from 15 million market cap to let's say 30 million market cap, it would start to attract more people from the outside. They would originally buy the Bobber, right? Because this is what got their attention into MultiversX. But guess what? In order to buy Bobber, you need to download Exportal. And by downloading Exportal, you might also find how cool UI UX they have, and you also find the security side, and you also find other projects into the ecosystem. And this is how memes bring adoption into an ecosystem. But if you don't gain their attention, because 15 million market cap right now on a Solana meme coin is nothing. You cannot gain their attention. You need thousands of X's, or you need a huge market cap for new people to come in. And we did have people coming in from outside, but at some point it just went down, and all those other coins tried to ride the same narrative. And now we are in a point where let's face it, it's not so great in terms of price, but in the same time, we continue to push with that, of course, with the help and big shout out to Kujet. He's the guy behind all the art. We just have different crazy ideas and stupid ones, and he transforms them into art. But this is what memes are. It's about having a strong community, having fun, and just pushing it forward. But yeah, this is my point of view, and I will stand by it.
Okay, do you want to add anything? Yeah, Joachim and after Pepiamin.
Yeah, so I understand your point of view, but like you're kind of saying we've reached a certain point with our token thanks to well exposure from the core team and several as you call it nowadays KOLs being active, and you're basically going to the conclusion that we've reached a certain point and no one will be able to reach a higher one than us, and we should go for the one that we created. And it's funny you talk about exporter, and I'm not saying that to criticize. I just think it's a very interesting discussion to have of what memcoins are about and how we can make them gain adoption. But we see, for example, we've seen the Near hot wallet, we've seen the Ton wallet using Telegram, and we have, as you said, this fantastic wallet called Exportal. We have now on-chain daily claims. We could already check the progress of people based on their SFTs in the past, etc. I feel like if we wanted real adoption instead of going for like a traditional LP launch and obviously certain people being able to getting bigger bags than others from the start because they know what's behind, etc. We could have a fairer launch in a way in general, by the fact that we could, as you say, use Exporter, which is a fantastic tool, to reward and create a token based on that, based on activity, rather than saying we created a main coin and we want it to be, as you said, not the one and only, but the main one. So yeah, I think we have very divergent views on how we can bring adoption, but yeah.
Yeah, Joaquim, I get your point, but unfortunately, our point was proven because Bobo reached 70 million market cap and nobody really listened to us, and they did their thing and launched other coins. And the top one, I don't know, that came behind, I don't know even if they reached 1 million. So yeah, this happened. It was the top, and it should have gotten all the support behind it to make it a spearhead. And like Adam said very well, this is not about monopoly and having just one. It's about timing. Allow that one to pierce to the wall, and then all of them can launch. Yeah, Adam.
Yeah, I wanna say that it was not planned for the team to support it in any way, and I know GRM has a problem with Bobber because it was supported by the team. Basically, what happened?
Don't
It
put me
started.
in this, Adam.
Yes, you said it. It's
I'm
in your
cool
tweets.
today.
No, yeah, you're cool today, but you said it. It's in your tweets. So
Yeah, I assume it.
yeah. So, but no, I can tell you 100%, and Pepe can confirm it if you trust Pepe more than me.
No, I
It,
trust
it was
everybody.
it was not a plan for the beginning, so we didn't spoke with Benny or anybody from the core team to launch a meme coin and for them to endorse it after. But what Bobber achieved since its launch, and it was a fair launch, the fact that there were some people that deployed bots when the trade was open and so on. This continued to happen on other launches after Bobber and before and on other chains and so on. But again, it was nothing prepared. But what Bobber managed to do, from my point of view, it was to revitalize the entire multiverse ecosystem. Up until then, we just had dramas and why the price is dropping and the team is selling and blah 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 and bad vibes overall. What Bobber tried to do, did actually, was it bring so much exposure and people talking about Bobber and MultiversX indirectly. And organic, maybe you don't know them, but we have organic Romanian KOLs that posted with huge number of. Wait, don't interrupt me. Allow me to rant on it.
Adam. Let's be clear. Actually, it was not planned to speak about Boba that long. I wanted to speak about different topic around Pepiamin. It was
Okay,
not about.
let me
So I will
summarize
let
it.
you finish your
Okay.
sentence, but we need first to close the space and to finish the interview with Pepiamin. But yeah, of course, finish your
Okay,
sentence.
so the idea is that Bobber started a positive movement in the entire ecosystem, MultiversX ecosystem. And from my point of view, the team just wanted to be close to the community in a way and just wanted to not endorse the token, but kind of go with the flow, to say so. And that was the only thing that the team did in terms of supporting Bobber. Right? It was not backed, not pumped, not anything from the team. It was 100% the MultiversX community, and that was all from my side on Bobber topic.
Thank you, Adam. And yeah, just again to be clear, it was not on the plan to speak about the previous I mean issues about Bober. But yeah, okay. I started by a compliment about the direction, the artistic direction. So let's stay at this, and I like it. Okay. Pepiamin.
Just
Go.
wanted to finish with one thing that this was not planned at all. Adam told me, look, Mihai did a tweet in the same day. We want to do this. It's fun. Let's jump on it. And I was a bit reluctant at first because I have not talked about any meme coins until then. And at some point, I just said, fuck it, let's do it. and that was it. It was nothing pre-planned or talked or so on.
Okay. Thank you, guys, for this. I think we spoke about all the topics I wanted to speak about with you, Pepiamin. It was thank you very much for coming this morning and yeah, to accept this interview. And yeah, keep it up. We are not much on MultiversX, but we've been there for years now. And yeah, let's keep pushing the ecosystem by doing all what we do. I mean, some are building projects, other are creating content, others are I don't know, giving opinion about different topics, and that's the way it is. So yet, let's continue to do this. I hope to see you at the next in real life event, Pepiamin and Adam. Also, why didn't you come, Adam, to Proof of Talk?
Because Bobber dumped and I'm poor now.
I knew all was Bobby's fault. I knew it.
Yeah. But how?
Okay.
Wait, I have a question for you. How is Bobby? How's your dog?
My dog.
Yeah. And disclosure. I also hold Bobby. Okay, so I have nothing against it. Right?
Oh, actually, okay. Let's be completely clear and transparent because I am always. Langin, whom I met in Paris, by the way, sent me a message about Bobby and asked me if I were interested in, I mean, talking about the token, the Bobby token, and I answered the same as I tweeted just after. If the token is not pushed by the core team member and the launch is 100% fair and not possible to freeze, pause, and so on, yeah, why not? Because I'm not against meme coin intrinsically, and yeah, because all the conditions was fulfilled. I made a tweet about it. You know what? I bought, I think, $100 of Bobby. And I still have them. And I think now it's completely lost. I did not follow the thing. But you know what? I don't care. I don't know how to take profit. People know. I know how to buy. I don't know how to sell. So don't do what I do.
Same, by the way.
We are the same here. Yeah, I'm still a holder of everything that I bought. And for the records,
You know, my wallet is, I think everybody can find my wallet, and I have more than 1,200 NFTs. I think I have more than 150 different tokens. And yeah, I'm not a good trader. So that's in a very, very transparent way what happened with Bobby. No more, no less.
yeah, just one last thing. Regarding any price of any meme token, Bob, Bobby, whatever. I hope that it will come a meme coin. It doesn't have to be Bobber, even if it has all the ingredients in terms of art. And as you said, GRM, we have Kujet. Shout out to Kujet once again. But I do hope that there will be one meme coin that will help the adoption of MultiversX. And I do think that the team should also, even if we have the great tech, we are more on the serious and institutional part, but in the same time, you can be focused on two narratives, and memes do have their own role. So
you know what? Yesterday
yeah.
at Proof of Talk, there were a round table with Benjamin, the CEO of Animoca Brands, and the CEO of Jupiter, Miao. And the topic of the panel was around the adoption of blockchain. Okay, and you know what? I mean, 80% of the discussion was about meme coin. Okay, uh, my blockchain hurts, but let's do this if we don't have
What
choice.
did Benny? I saw a post from someone that Benny spoke about memes at Proof of Talk. What did he
Yes,
say?
Yeah,
he
that
said
was it.
in a few words, he said everything is a meme except a Tesla share is a meme. Everything is a meme. And so, yeah, but I recommend you to listen to the replay or the video you can find somewhere, because the sound was not very, very good. But yeah, what I can tell you is 80% of the discussion about adoption of blockchain was around meme coin. We had the CEO of the first gaming Web3. We have DeFi thing. We have a layer one around payment and so on. And you know what? They just talked about meme coin. So maybe some of you like this narrative. To be completely honest, it's not my thing. I respect those who likes it. It's not my thing. So yeah, to be honest, I was a bit disappointed that meme coin, everything is about meme coin these days. But I'm sure it's like season. You have summer, and after you have the other season. So let's wait for the next season that will be, I hope, more interesting. Guys, I'm sorry, but we need to close the space. But really, again, thank you, Adam, for coming. You're always welcome. Pepiamin, again, it was very interesting. This Twitter space started by a very, very technical thing around Bitcoin and finished by meme coin. So that is GM Web3. We speak about everything with everyone, and that's what we do. Joachim, thank you very much for being here, brother. It was a pleasure. Same for Maxime. Had a very, very good day. You can find the replay of the space on the different podcast platforms and on our YouTube channel. And see you next Wednesday for a new GM Web3 in English, and of course on Friday for a space on French. And Lucid, sorry, completely forgot about you. It was
It's okay.
I'm sorry, you don't speak enough.
Yeah, we'll next
but
time.
I know you're here. Take care of yourself, and take care. Cheers. Bye bye.
Take care,
Thanks
guys.
for
Bye.
the invite. Bye bye.